Today's gonna be a little bit of a different video because we're gonna be reviewing a robot mower. This is the Mammotion Luba 2 robot mower, and as you can tell, it's not perfectly clean. I wanted this thing to be out in the elements. I did forget to remove the sticker, but you can see dirty versus clean right there. I left this mower outside in the elements. I've let it mow for a couple of weeks now because I wanted to really see how this would perform after being out in the element. I'm Blake Albertson with B&B Lawn Care. If you're new here, check out some of my other videos. We actually run a lawn and landscape company, as most of you guys know, here in Kansas City, and I've always loved technology. We've heard about robot mowers for years now, and I've been trying to get my hands on a couple throughout the years. I have a couple in my possession now, so I wanted to make a few different videos on some of these robot mowers to see kind of where the technology's at. Now, I see it from a business owner standpoint. Some of these videos might help people, homeowners that don't want to do their own grass, don't want to hire a lawn care company, maybe want to implement a robot. But from a business owner standpoint, some of these robots are $1,000 to $3,000 a piece. Now, if the technology gets really, really good, where they're super reliable and the cut is really good, and they're like $1,000, maybe you could implement these as part of your business, out mowing clients' properties. Your customers just pay you weekly like they do right now when you have humans out on mowers mowing their property. So let's get into this review of the Mammotion Luba 2. So I first want to tell you how it works. This is a RTK satellite, I guess you would call it. It just stakes into the ground and plugs in to the charging station, which then plugs into the wall. So you need three different things here. You need an RTK connection, you need Wi-Fi connection, and then you're gonna need Bluetooth to connect to your phone so you can control the robot, mapping out different areas, creating channels. Let's say I wanted to cut this area, and then I want it to go on the concrete, not mowing, to the front yard. Here's what your app looks like. I already have in mapped areas. It's gonna take a little bit of getting used to. My one tip is to make sure that when you get RTK connection, you get it plugged in, you get Wi-Fi, make sure you update all of the software. It's pretty easy, it'll just pop up. But the robot didn't work for me until I updated the software. So let's get this Luba 2 out mowing. And if it was to hit my foot, it would stop, right? So it has a camera in the front, sensors all around, and then that bumper to make sure if it taps something, it'll back up and skip over that area. So battery's good, vision's good.
Start working.
That's it. It's gonna start mowing now. This is kind of cool. Totally unnecessary, but cool. Let's see. You can basically watch what the mower's watching while it works. There it is. It's gonna start cutting right there. That's kind of cool. But all you can hear is, I'll let you hear it, just the blades of grass. They're dead quiet. All you hear is a little bit of grass clippings. So now I'm in front of it, and it's gonna totally avoid me. Back in the day, the technology was basically what those first Roombas were. you would basically put a boundary wire, an actual wire, along the perimeter of your lawn, okay? And then the robot would just bounce across the lawn in a million different ways until it thought it was done mowing. But you had to install the wires, okay? One, a lot of people didn't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It's time consuming. You're aerating, you can cut those wires. With RTK technology, you do it all from your phone, and within the app, and the robot memorize the boundary lines because you have that RTK satellite and it's connected to the robot. So that's basically an invisible boundary wire that it's hugging right now that we put in controlling the robot around with our phone. It's like a little remote control car. The RTK, it will actually mow in straight lines. And they have an update coming. This was something I was actually researching myself about this mower. They sent this out to me and I emailed them and I said, hey, it says that you're gonna be able to do lawn art, like make logos and things in the lawn. That's how good the RTK technology is. And they said that update is coming this month. So I think the technology with this kind of stuff is endless, is totally endless. So that's where we're at. Again, they sent this mower out to me. I got the email and I was like, yes. Even though, listen, I hire employees. I'm not firing my employees. Nobody's taking your jobs. Some of the comments are wild when you post things about robots. But you can't tell me that that is not cool. I mean, that is just so crazy. And we haven't had one mistake. I actually left it, you know, this isn't even my house. I left it here and let it mow. And I was so worried that I was gonna come back and that thing was gonna be in the street, ran over. I mean, look at that line. They're perfectly straight. RTK technology has been around for a very long time. They've used it in the farming industry a ton. And so now it's kind of coming to the lawn care, coming to these robotic mowers. You've seen some of the larger zero turns with the RTK. It's pretty amazing stuff. So again, I'm not firing all my employees. People aren't losing their jobs, but I wanted this for two reasons. I'm a geek about lawn care, a geek about technology, but I also want to be at the forefront of this. Just me out here playing with this robot. People were walking by, stopping, looking. And so I'm gonna kind of use it as like a promotional thing and put my sign out here to our website that, you know, if somebody really wanted a robot mower, they don't want to set it up, they don't want to pay for it, they still don't want to trim and edge and all that stuff. We'll set up a robot and we'll come by once a week for 5 minutes and trim and edge and just charge you like we would any other customer. But again, I don't see this replacing all of my employees. I don't see anything. I just see it's coming, it's here. The technology is really good. And you can't just shut off. It's like when software came to the lawn care industry and people are like, no, I like pen and paper. You know, or I'm not gonna set up a website, you're crazy. You know, door hangers work just fine. And everything works, but sometimes if your life can be easier, you adjust the height on the app. And so it can go from 4 inches to way too low for our grass, maybe like 2 inches. But if you're looking at robot mowers, if they're not made for the US, they typically cut really, really short. So in other countries, the robot mowers have been adopted in Europe way more than they have in the US. And so some of the robot mowers don't cut 4 inches. And that's what I really liked about this. The other thing, the other reason, and I'm just new into the robot mower game, so I don't know everything, but I've been doing a lot of research and testing in person. Hills are tough for robot mowers. And so this isn't a huge hill, but I've had a robot on this lawn that had trouble getting up here. So this is an all-wheel drive mower. Cuts high, cuts at 4 inches. And those are the two things that I've experienced. Not being able to get up hills because they're only 2-wheel drive and they have weird tires, or they cut too low and they don't get that actual 4 inches. This thing can run at night, in the rain if you want it to, because it's so quiet. It's not going to disturb anybody. So now that I have like 3 or 4 robots now, and so I'm going to put them on. I'm gonna see what kind of yards would work great. Fences are tough with robots still, because you got to get them in the backyard somehow. Open a gate for them, or I've even heard people cutting out a little section of their fence to let the robot through. And that's kind of a lot. So I'm gonna select a couple customers' lawns that I think look good for a robot mower, and just ask them, say, hey, are you guys interested in trying this out? Your lawn will be perfectly cut all the time. It'll look basically the same all the time, like it was just freshly mowed, and it won't cost you any more money. And basically you pay us like we normally cut, and if you don't want us to mow anymore, we'll just come get the robot. So you have to look at it from that this is just your asset, just like any other mower, any other machine. And when you put this on a lawn, you know, if they don't want your service anymore, you just pick it up. That's the great thing about no boundary wires. It takes me, now that I'm good at it, probably 5 minutes, 10 minutes to map out this area and get it scheduled to work all the time. Now, the one other thing that you might not have thought about, now that I have this and we can set up different areas, is that if I got these 4 yards in a row, this mower, this one machine, could do all 4 properties. So it's not just one mower on each lawn. We could have one mower taking care of 4 or 5 lawns every single week. So it's gonna mow vertically and then it's gonna mow horizontally. And as you can tell, the stripes are pretty straight with that RTK technology. It's not bouncing around, it's not guessing where it is. When it's hooked up to the satellite, it knows exactly where it is. You better not touch me. Did I tell you I'm a nerd? I told you I'm a nerd. I love this stuff. So this right here,
Stop working.
is it says don't cover, so I'm guessing that's how it connects to the RTK. This is the key to it. Comes with 2 of those. Rain sensor, some of your controls, like I showed you the camera, the bumper up front, got some suspension. These tires are kind of cool. That's how it really can just slide like this. It actually doesn't turn the tires. It does it kind of like a 0 turn, where it turns the back tires, and this can just slide any direction. So pretty cool. Let's see if it'll get back to work here. Oh, maybe the start button.
Continue working.
And it'll get back to it. And so it just crossed over. I do need to adjust that in the app to not cross over so much. But like I said, all of the app is, I'm still learning. I'm not a pro at the app yet. So I got a notification that work has been paused, but you can control everything on here. It knows exactly how much of the lawn is cut, how many minutes is remaining. 63 minutes remaining to cut this front yard, double cutting it basically. And then the height controls is right on the app, and it just boop, you don't even hear it or notice it changing. So we're gonna let this Luba 2 mow for a little bit and come back and see what the finished product looks like. All right, it's about 40 minutes later. It's still going to work, but we have some stripes in the yard. Again, totally different from what we're used to with 52-inch mowers, but they are very consistent. It is just wild how quiet it is, and that once everything's set up, this thing doesn't complain, it doesn't stop. It just works, it just mows. So there's some of the stripes. The cut quality with these is the grass never really gets too long, so it just always looks perfectly cut. So you've heard my thoughts about robots in general. Let me give you the overview of my thoughts of this robot. I've tried probably 4 brands of robot mowers, and I can tell you that this one right now has been my favorite so far. It's a pricier than some of the other options, but like I said, the all-wheel drive, it can handle hills better than other robots. Even robot mowers with bigger tires, it can handle it better with the all-wheel drive. The app has been seamless. Like I said, the only trouble I had was when it wasn't updated, the firmware. I just didn't know to do it, and then I got a notification, and I'm like, fine, I'll sit through the 3, 4, 5 minutes of it updating. I think this looks nice. This status light is actually a huge deal. Some of the other ones don't have that. In the RTK technology, I wanted straight lines, and any of my customers are going to want straight lines on their lawn. They're not going to want zigzagged all around patterns. I just can't believe how it can cut. It knows where it is. It knows what to do. It can go right back and charge itself. You can see basically those prongs just go onto it, touch the mower, and it charges. So I've been having a lot of fun. I hope you guys maybe learned something. Maybe you thought, you know, robots, oh, they're taking our jobs, they suck. Maybe you're like, man, that is kind of cool. You got to admit. And when people walk by here, everybody's looking at that robot. So I want to logo it up with like B&B and put my sign out here. Hey, if you need your yard cut. It's like a mascot. Like you need something to grab attention for your business, especially in today's day and age where everybody's on their phone, you know, or you're trying to get younger people into the industry, you know, and they're used to playing video games. It's like, even if you don't provide robotic mowing, if you just had it on a busy street with your sign, you're gonna get some attention, I believe, and I believe the ROI will come back. You know, it's like anything to get people's attention in today's day and age is what you need. So it's overlapping a little bit, and I think I can make that adjustment, but I just haven't played around with it too much because, again, we're still running an actual lawn care company, not just playing with robots all day.